Well, the thing that I remember is that in our curriculum, we didn't have a lot of choices. We had so-called block curriculum. And the emphasis was that, what we always heard was that engineers are pretty narrow in in what they do. And they need to be broadened, and you need to get a bunch of electives, and you need to come down to college. Well, as it turns out, we all ended up, and it was no other way to do it actually, if you're going to try to get out in 4 years, we all ended up choosing electives based on where they fit in the schedule. It didn't matter what it was. I took psychology. I had absolutely no interest in psychology, but I took psychology at night because I could fit it into my schedule.
There was a statistics course I took, and one Professor Widekind, he taught that from 3 hours each night, every week. And I thought statistics was a very boring subject, which I had learned before. But he was the most interesting professor. He made 3 hours in the evening one of the most interesting class I had.
I was very impressed with the caliber of faculty. Dean Sell was one who, apart from being dean part of the time, set a record by teaching at the law school over 50 years. Very dedicated to the students, very competent. He also served on some advisory committees. Professor Sherman ran his class very much like a Marine Corps drill sergeant, but was a very warm, caring person. But people who hadn't done their homework were very timid about attending. And just across the board, it was just a wonderful experience. Caliber of faculty, caliber of students, so we could move at a decent pace.
I look back today, and I am so grateful to the law school, because whatever success that I have been able to achieve in 45 plus years of the practice of law, I attribute to the law school, and not in so much as what they taught me substantively, I mean torts or contracts, but they taught me how to think. And in teaching me how to think with the Socratic method that Arnie mentioned, it has served me well my entire professional career, not only in my professional career, but in my life in general.
As I said, I started in engineering, moved over into economics, and the most impressive teacher that I experienced in the economics program was Dr. Ruben Schlesinger. He had been here for a long time, and he was just a very knowledgeable individual. Didn't always agree with what the president and their council of economic advisors suggested, and he had lots of different opinions, but certainly he was willing to listen to yours too, which I always found to be something that I respected in a professor.
I had a teacher here named Dr. Kolodny, who taught history. I mean, he was one of the great teachers. He had even been in the Spanish Civil War in the 1930s. And he got into some problems because he was supposed to be a communist, and Litchfield, who was then the chancellor, defended him. But he was a great teacher, and I learned so much from him, and I patterned my own teaching after